Don't you love before and after pictures in ads? The shot of how you were before the program and now how you are after the program. They usually go something like this: before. And then the person's image is like this. Right? And then after, something like that. Hey, good morning. I'm Andy Ross. I'm one of the pastors at Northminster Church in Tucson, Arizona. And if you think about it, there's a lot of power in before and after stories. In our schedule of readings for today, we are directed to read Acts chapter 26, verses 1 through 23, where Paul is now has a chance to speak about his story before Agrippa, a leading official in that region. And Agrippa, sort of like a courtroom scene, says, Agrippa spoke directly to Paul, "Go ahead, tell us about yourself. You have permission to speak for yourself." And then Paul goes on to retell his story of how he used to be, Dog the Christian hunter. He was persecuting these new Christians. He was trying to get them arrested. But then on his way on the Damascus highway, a supernatural experience happened to him where he was floored, truly, by a blinding light, and the voice and presence of Jesus spoke to him, redirected his life to now become someone who could, as we read in the story, open the eyes of outsiders so that people could choose light and not darkness. Paul was ready and able to tell his before and after story. Advertisers use before and after, and sometimes in a caricatured way, because people want to know what difference has a product made in your life. People, I think, are interested in your faith. What's your story? If you are a Christian, if you do live by faith, well, how were you before you became a Christian? And what does this God, this Savior, this Jesus, what does he do for you? What does he mean to you now? The point I'm getting at is you don't need to have a dramatic Apostle Paul story. You shouldn't compare your stories with others. But if you had a chance, if somebody said, "Tell us about yourself," how would you speak of your faith? How would you mention Jesus? Can you put into words briefly how you were before you encountered Jesus, and now how are you with Jesus? It's important. I do have a concern that many Christians get tongue-tied or feel like they're caught unprepared when faith and conversations pop up. Paul was ready. He gave an eloquent description of his life before and after. I'd encourage you to read Acts 26. Think about your story. What difference has God made in you? Tell us about yourself. God's blessings on your Monday.